Well, hi, this is your pal Andrew, and what we have here is a vintage old-timey radio. I guess you'd call this a table radio. This was made by the Wilcox-Gay company of Charlotte, Michigan, and I would say that this probably dates to the early 1940s, maybe around 1940, 41, 42, around in there. Hasn't worked in many years. I do remember it playing as recently as the early 80s. We can see here that it has a wood cabinet, not in the greatest shape, obviously. If we take a slightly closer look here, maybe we can get a look at some of the dial and whatnot. There you can see the dial, kind of, not real well. This had a short-wave band, I believe, as well as the usual AM broadcast band. We'll add a little light here. You can see the Wilcox-Gay trademark. The bottom is the AM, and the top is the shortwave, or it says shortwave. It may actually have been a police band. I see the dial still works, but there is no way I'm going to be plugging this in to see if it actually works. Let me zoom back out here, and we will see that the knobs are all intact here. This was the on-off. This controlled the station selection, and I don't know what these did. This must have been this one was the band selector, I guess, and this might have been tone or perhaps volume, although this one also turned, so that was probably the volume. So we'll turn this around and take a look at the back of it here. Bear with me just a moment while we carefully turn it around. You can notice there is some damage here, but otherwise the case is the cabinet is still together anyway. You can kind of see where there's been tape put on holding it together at one time. The back is long gone, and here we can see all the tubes and connections and everything else that I don't know a great deal about. Here is the rather scary looking power cord. Let's see if I can get that out of there. Ah, yes, there we are. Yeah, don't think I want to be plugging this in anytime soon. And we can see some numbers here. If I turn it, a little bit of product specification, I guess you'd call it. Let's see, shed a little more light on here. You can't really read that from here, but I can. It says receiver model A-77, made in United States of America, Wilcox-Gay Corporation, Charlotte, Michigan. It also has some French writing on there, Fabrique aux États-Unis d'Amérique. Licensed only for radio, amateur, experimental, and broadcast reception. The manufacture and/or sale of this apparatus does not imply any license under any patent relating to the structure or manufacture of radio tubes. And there is a great deal of patent information there for tubes and super heterodyne and automatic volume control and automatic frequency control. That's if automatic frequency, if super heterodyne, etc. So this is sort of a catch-all label, it looks like. I don't know a thing about any of these tubes or anything else. I'll leave that to the YouTubers out there who are more attuned, as it were, to vintage old-time radios. I was able to find a little bit of information about Wilcox-Gay on the internet. They were based in Charlotte, Michigan, as I mentioned, and their best known product was something called the Recordio, which allowed people to cut records in their own home back in the 30s, 40s, and those were popular through the 50s. Sometimes if you go to thrift shops, you can find Recordio discs, if not Recordio machines maybe. But there are some other labels here we'll take a look at. Down here we have one that says dummy antenna, and there's some text there, but I just can't make it out. And we have further patent listings back here. We're not going to be able to make those out, I don't guess. Licensed licensed by Hazeltine Corporation, only for use in homes, for educational purposes, and private non-commercial use under one or more of the following patents. So that is more patent info. And also something of some interest down here is a series of numbers. It might mean something to people in the radio restoration hobby. 148221, it looks like. Don't know what that might mean. One last thing I wanted to show you here. We have sort of a makeshift antenna, I guess. You see, you can kind of see it there. Someone has taken and hammered in a piece of wire around, all the way around the cabinet here, and over here, up at the top corner, top left corner, you can see that it is tied in here to this big long piece of wire, which I can just remember being utilized as an antenna. I remember this radio performed pretty well. I could remember when I was a child listening to it. We could pick up clear channel stations like WSM, let's say, or WWL from New Orleans with not much trouble at all. I can remember listening to the Grand Ole Opry on this radio, as a matter of fact. So we'll turn it around one last time here. Get a look at the rather nice cloth covered speaker here. Nice to me anyway. So there you have it, the Wilcox-Gay A-77 radio. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and if you know anything about this radio, feel free to comment in the comments section. I'd like to hear about it. And I guess that's it for this time. This is your pal Andrew, and we'll talk to you later.